Okay, so now that we've discussed different types of attacks and we've seen the hackers and what they do, one important question to answer is, how do we secure our organization or our department, right? What do we do? It's very simple, high level. Again, it's difficult in the details, but we need to focus on three things. People, number one, and we mentioned why, because they're tricking users. The next is called the process. And the third is called the product or technology. So the three P's: people, process, and product. What does this mean? This means people should be aware and trained about cybersecurity. People should be careful not to click something wrong, right? And if they do, by accident, we need a process, which is point number two, to address this. How do we deal with a hack? How do we report something that has happened? How do we put a process to do disaster recovery, right? How do we react if a hack is happening? This is part of the process. A process must organize our cybersecurity, so only specific people can access what they need to. It prevents outside users who are unauthorized to come into our network. And it gives us a process to follow in case, think like it's a disaster. There's an earthquake or something. What's the process to deal with a fire or an earthquake in our building? Same idea here. We need a process for cybersecurity. What happens if someone's trying to hack, and what do we do? How do I report it, right? And the third, the product or technology, it's two parts. It means we need to secure our technology, and we'll mention some ways to do that. And it also means we need to have security software and products installed in our main systems, right? So these are the three things, three P's of cybersecurity: people, process, and product. So one principle is called CIA, and it's not the organization in the United States that we all know. The CIA principle is called confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This is kind of used as the process to help guide and secure companies' systems. What does confidentiality mean? It means this principle is to allow only authorized entities can access sensitive information. So dividing your data and systems into levels of security, basically, this is what it's saying. Integrity is the principle dealing with access control, and that modifying or updating sensitive data should not be available for everyone, right? So not everyone should be able to open everything. That's the key. That way we reduce the risk from hackers having someone on the inside. And availability, this is very important, especially in cloud technology. What this means is that all systems and functions and data must be available on demand. So even if there's a hack, we need to have a backup system, right? Or even if there's a hack, we need to have our data backed up somewhere, or our website working, right? Even if it's slower or is missing some features, but we have to create a strategy to make everything available and to have a backup plan, basically, right? But one common way to do all these is to use a firewall. Maybe we've heard, some of us, a firewall, maybe some Windows systems we have has a firewall built in. So what is a firewall? I'll briefly talk about it. It's basically, think in the past, kings, they had a fortress, big fortress in Europe, for example. They create a big wall around it, like a Great Wall of China, and they dig a lake, a small river around, and they have a bridge for someone to pass. This is the old way of creating a wall, big wall. The digital equivalent is a firewall. So it's building a digital wall around our systems and network, right? And this digital wall consists of hardware and software. So you can have antivirus and firewall software. And actually, we do have hardware from Cisco and different companies that create devices you need to install in different parts to help filter traffic. So again, think of this old fortress, with a big wall and water around it, and there's one bridge with security guards checking everyone passing, looking at documents and checking. This was what the firewall does in the electronic world, right? It filters all traffic, internet traffic, network traffic. And what does that mean? It means it has some rules to check if this traffic going in and out is legitimate or it looks risky. And it uses artificial intelligence actually to do this. So what's an example? What does that mean? Let's say the artificial intelligence has a rule to say, on average, only 100 people access the network in the company, and the size of data packets, so there's something called a data packet that moves in the network. It's small, maybe 1 megabyte of data is moving. I'm just giving an example. If suddenly this AI system realizes there's 500 gigabytes moving, it could be someone's hacking and stealing data, copying everything quickly. And it could block this because it is something out of the ordinary. That's the idea. So maybe some of us have went to shopping or traveled, used credit cards. You try to swipe and it's not working. It gives you security message. It says, something is wrong. Please contact your bank. The card is unable to complete this transaction. This is an example actually of this type of predefined rules using artificial intelligence. If it's something you're doing for the first time and it is not a common pattern that's happening regularly, it will block it. It will assume something's wrong and block the card until you call the bank and tell them, no, it's me. I'm traveling to Dubai. It's maybe my first time there and I'm purchasing something very expensive. But yes, it is me and I'll answer your security questions. Please activate my card. And then they click the button and your card works again. So this is a similar example to what a firewall does. And the firewalls can be used for personal machines at home. I have a firewall from Windows on my system. It comes with Windows, the new one. And it could be for corporate systems as well. Okay, a new principle that is emerging. They're saying cybersecurity by itself is old news. Today, the new fancy term is called cyber resilience, being resilient. So what does this mean? So this term was created by Mr. Mahmoud Badawi. He's working in an IBM company that focuses on this topic. Resilience means we should think about a company's electronic system like the human immune system, human body, right? So the idea is threats will always be there, just like how viruses always be there. Every year we'll get sick, kids get sick, we get the cold, So the idea is, the hacking landscape is evolving continuously and new threats are coming out every day. The important thing is recovering quickly and having a strong immune system, right? It's the same idea. How do we recover quickly from a hack? That's the concept now, how we focus. So we need a strategy to do this. It could include some important concepts. So one is called anticipating an attack, meaning the experts in the company, and we'll talk about who cybersecurity experts are, should sit down together, think like a hacker, and see where is our weak point in the company. If I am a hacker, how will I hack this company? And how will I hack this system? So once we brainstorm some anticipation techniques, the second step is to create protection against this. So for example, if we discover, my website has weak security, the hacker can easily bring it down. So now I need to protect it. So I need to look for a software that will protect my website from a DDoS attack, okay? And then withstanding means I'm testing my system. I'm testing to see how strong is it. And then the final step 4 is called recovery. So let's assume a hack happens, an attack happens, my system's failing. How do I recover? What's my backup strategy? My backup plan, right? So it's important to have all of these, and it's important to think about what will happen after an attack, not just protecting it, because realistically attacks do happen and they will happen, right? And I know personal examples of people, also small business, by the way, not only big companies, small, medium, and large businesses, they're all at risk.